Okay, we're recording. What? Okay, so this says I'm able to solve rational expressions, or rational equations, it should say, and identify excluded values. So we're going to continue our talk about solving rational equations. So yesterday, almost all of them that we did were linear. We only got one answer for x. Today, you're going to get an x squared in there. And the difference with that, if it's linear, all you have to do is isolate x, right? Solve for x and you're done. Do your check. If it's quadratic, you've got to set everything equal to 0, get everything on one side, right? Then factor it, and then you're going to come up with two solutions. And those are the ones you have to be really careful with, because when you get two solutions, sometimes one of those solutions is one of the excluded values. So you've got to really watch for that, okay? And be aware of your excluded values. Let's get into it. Does it sound like fun? Eventually. Okay. So my common denominator here. That's the first thing I don't have anything to factor. I just need to consider my common denominator. I should state my excluded values too. That's number 2. So my x cannot be, no, only the denominator, 0. X can't be 0. That's the only thing x cannot be. All right, so now I'm going to look at my common denominator. My common denominator, I have an x, another x, so that was taken care of, and I have a 5. So my common denominator is going to be 5x. This one has an x, so all it needs is a 5. So I'm going to multiply it by 5. If I do it to the denominator, I've got to do it to the numerator. This one also needs a 5. And this one doesn't have an x, so we're going to multiply it by x, multiply it by x. When I do that, let's make this pretty. 5 times 3 is 15 over 5x equals 5 over 5x plus 5 times the quantity of x plus 3. 5 is being multiplied by everybody up here. Remember, I told you x isn't alone. X is a number. Oh, it's the x. Thank you. That's why you shouldn't be doing it all sloppy like that, right? Because you make mistakes like that. So we have the quantity of x plus 3, right? Quantity of x plus 3, and it's being multiplied by the x. Okay? So when I do that, I'm fixing it, Bryce. But I'm glad you're still aware. And look, Chris is awake too. So x times x plus 3 all over 5x. Okay? I have all the same denominators now, right? We know we did it correctly, hopefully. I would have caught it. Now, here's a good reason why you should always do denominators all at the same time. Because if I had 5 times 5, I would have had 25 there, and I would have gone and said, wait a second, I did something wrong. I don't have the same denominator. Something's wrong, right? Okay. So now that I have all the same denominators, I can get rid of all of them. Okay? So now I have 15 is equal to 5 plus, I'm going to go ahead and distribute, x squared plus 3x. So I've got a quadratic now, so I'm going to set everything equal to 0. So I'm going to move this 15 to the other side. So when I move the 15 to the other side, I'm going to get 0 equals x squared plus 3x, and 5 minus 15 is negative 10. 2 and 5 make negative 10. One of them's got to be negative. The 2 is going to be negative because the 3 is positive. So I have two solutions here. I have x is equal to 2, and x is equal to negative 5. Are either one of those an excluded value? None of them are excluded values, so we're good. All right? So we have two different solutions. What's wrong, Bryce? It's factoring. Remember? We've been factoring for a while. It'll come back to you, right? Remember now? Okay. All right. So you guys want to go ahead and copy that one down on your homework? Let's pause this. Okay, so we know that this one, our common denominator is 2 times x minus 7, the quantity x minus 7. So I'm going to do better this time, and I'm going to actually rewrite it out. So this one, I'm going to have to multiply by 2. So I say 2 over 2 times the quantity 2x minus 9 over the quantity x minus 7 plus this one I'm going to have to multiply by x minus 7, or the quantity x minus 7 over x minus 7. I'm going to run out of room. I'm going to move this down a little bit. Better? So times x over 2. Let's move this up here. What can x not be on this one? Good, that's it, right? X can't be 7. So this is now going to be equal to 5 over x minus 7. Get rid of that one too. And I still have to, I don't have a common denominator yet, right? So I still need to multiply this one times 2. There, that's nice and neat, so I don't forget anything. Okay, so this is 2. I'm going to go ahead and distribute at the same time. 2 times 2x is 4x minus 18, all over 2 times x minus 7 plus x squared minus 7x, all over 2 times x minus 7 equals 10 over 2 times x minus 7. They all have the same denominator, so I can cancel my denominator. I cleared the denominator. So now it's 4x minus 18 plus x squared minus 7x equals 10. Matthew, what's my next step? I've got a quadratic, so how am I going to solve it? The big X, so I'm going to factor. So in order to factor, I've got to have everything on one side and set it equal to 0, right? Right, Jaden? Okay. So I'm going to move the 10 over to the other side. And I have x squared. 4x minus 7x is negative 3x. And then I have negative 18 and negative 10 is negative 28 equals 0. Now I can factor. What factors? There we go. Good job, Bryce. So negative 7, positive 4. So x equals 7 and x equals negative 4. What's my excluded value? So this one doesn't work, right? Therefore, I have to say that this is my only solution. This is not a solution. Because if I plug it back in, if I substitute it back in up here, if I need that 7, then my denominator is going to be 0, and I can't have that. Yes? What happened to the 4x? What happened to the 4x? 4x, right here, 4x minus 7x is negative 3x. I combined like terms. Yes? Yeah, x equals negative 4. That is your only answer. If you were to tell me x equals 7, you're going to get a point off. Okay? I'm just going to let you guys work. Yeah? I'll I'll make sure that these answers are online for you so you can check your work. Okay? All right, fantastic.